Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You're tuned into Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, CNBC News, NBC News Radio, and NBC Sports Radio Station, AM 1050, FM 106.5, streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Amazon Music, Audible, Rumble, Tiki Live, Podchaser, Spreaker, and a bunch more. And I am Dr. Marissa, and it is Fired Up Fridays with Dr. Marissa and
Cynthia Kahi. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm so delighted. We already have some thumbs up, people giving us the thumbs up. And if you want to come and chat with us this morning, it is an open invite. If you go to LinkedIn or Facebook, or the big one is YouTube channel, then you'll be able to comment and leave your opinion, because everybody has a right to my opinion and Cynthia's opinion. We're very fired up to be talking today about you and me and authenticity. Wow, that's a new song. Being your authentic self, and the flip side, the imposter syndrome. So that's the topic for today. I want to welcome back every Friday. I'm just delighted to have this businesswoman, mom, author, speaker. I got to meet her in San Diego. Was it less than a year ago? I don't even know. It feels like we've known each other.
Yeah, just this year.
Just this year. Wow. It doesn't feel like this year. And she is my co-host on Fridays. And thank you so much for all the wonderful messages and the likes and people's comments through the week as they listen. And, you know, I see the eyeballs rolling in. I just love it, because this is an interactive show. And we're going to do our breakfast. You're going to have breakfast with us. But hold on. Let me just give her a formal welcome back on Friday. Just in case you didn't get enough applause this week since I saw you last week. But why don't you go ahead and introduce the gratitude sandwich?
Okay, well, every morning we like to have breakfast with the top of the bun, which is gratitude, and the bottom of the bun, which is appreciation. And I would love to start out with my gratitude sandwich. Oh, I did bring coffee this morning. I don't know if you have coffee, but I have coffee. Okay, good. I am grateful for the ability to work from home. Look at me, I'm at home today.
I see that. No cool, colorful artwork in your knuckle factory restaurant.
Oh, it's on that side. It's on that side. Where is it? See my little cow back there? See my little cow?
Yeah.
It's cute. It's funny. It's the opposite. This thing.
Yes. Yeah. You gotta be on your game here.
Yes.
And I am grateful to be back from Toronto, to be back in my beautiful beach home. Your turn.
Awesome. I am grateful for delicious coffee. I love coffee in the morning.
I'm grateful that I already had my coffee and I was one with my coffee, and that we have the ability to, you know, just some people don't have that ability just to go out and grab a coffee. So I'm grateful for that. Your turn.
I am grateful for today. I'm grateful to be here. Thank you.
I am grateful that my mom is out of the hospital and that she is got like a new attitude about life too. It's funny. The doctors called, said that she was going to die. The nurses said she was going to die. She had a blood pressure of 40, blood oxygen of 40, sepsis, pneumonia, 2 broken ribs from the fall. And 2 days later, she's out of the hospital after I got there. So go figure. She's not
She said,
done.
"I don't think so." She said,
That's
"I'm not
right.
done.
That's
I'm not
right.
done."
I'm
Somebody else
grateful.
said it too.
Last gratitude. Oh, I think we did 8 already. So now we're going to go to the bottom of the bun. Those of you who've just tuned in, I see more eyeballs. We're having breakfast with you with the gratitude sandwich. Cynthia's favorite tool is gratitude, and so she's right in there with the top of the bun. Now we go to appreciation of yourself. It's a muscle that a lot of us don't have a lot of muscle tone on. We look to other people for approval, and that gets us in trouble. So we're trying to get you to self-approve. And in order to do that, you have to know what you're good at. And if you've been brought up being told you're not all that, or don't toot your own horn, they meant well, but it's BS. It's a belief system that keeps you looking for love in all the wrong places. So what do you like and appreciate about yourself, Cynthia?
I appreciate being self-aware.
I
Huge.
appreciate. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
That's
Okay.
I was just
I appreciate that I am forgiving. I've mastered the art of forgiveness.
Well, I definitely have not, but I'm working on it.
88% of the time.
That's right. I appreciate my ability to grow. A lot of people I've learned, they're kind of like, I'm okay with where I am right now. And I like the fact that I appreciate the fact that I can grow. I want to grow.
All right. Can you make sure you close out of stuff? The internet's not as strong as the restaurant is, and you're flashing a little bit. So I don't know if you have anything else on there, just to strengthen that for me while I'm talking. I appreciate that I am a multitasker on steroids sometimes. What do you appreciate about yourself?
I appreciate that too. It's actually really, for all of the things that I do, I definitely appreciate the fact that I'm a multitasker.
Great. And my last appreciation for myself is that I love life. I'm a life lover, tree hugger, life lover. And that is it for Breakfast with Dr. Marissa and Cynthia Kahi on Fired Up Friday. Hopefully it was as yummy and juicy for you as it was for us. And now we're going to move into the topic of the day. And, we just love basically talking about anything. She's Italian. I'm a recovering Chinese non-timid woman who likes to speak my mind and give you my 8 cents worth. And so we thought we would talk about, I got to pick the topic this week, authenticity, because it is like a buzzword probably of this last 10 years. People who go for self-development or they want to better themselves, they talk about finding or being your authentic self. And I have to admit, I have found that while it is an important thing to find out who you are, at the core of who you are, I have also found that some people use the term, I need to be my authentic self, or I need to find my authentic self, or I'm being my authentic self, as defense, as a defense or reason to be an ash hole. That's the strongest I'll go. That was ASH, by the way. I'm not going to get dinged on FCC. I know Sam's like, wow, I'm going to dump that one. But I say that on purpose because I have heard people say, I have to be authentic, and therefore I'm going to be brutally honest. And I am of the BS belief system that there's never a reason to be brutally honest. So as soon as someone says I'm being authentic, my little, hair on my back, even though I don't have hair on my back, but you know what I mean? Like I get a little bit heightened. And so I wanted to talk about that. And then the flip side is if you can't be yourself, then I know that for me and a lot of my coaching clients, we feel like imposters. So the imposter syndrome is a real psychological term to explain how sometimes you feel like with people you're pretending to be someone maybe you want to be or you hope to be, but that's not really me. And so you have a voice that says, or somebody will say, "Oh, wow, you do so much and you're so wonderful," and put you on a pedestal and you're like, "Thank you very much." And then inside your head goes, your critic in your head goes, well, you fooled them. They really don't know what's going on. They really don't know how you're really feeling. And so you feel split. And you feel like, maybe that's how multiple personalities come out. You're one way with someone, one way at home, one way and all that. So that's my introduction to the topic that I'd like to talk to today. I have no idea what Cynthia's views on because we like to do it fresh. We don't do pre-interviews. So you're going to get it live. You're going to get the fired up version of the answers to that. So that's me. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. What do you think from all of that I said, Cynthia? And I should have had you do Instagram while I was talking, but that's okay. We'll do it on the next round.
Okay, so for me, authenticity, again, very new to this self-development world. Nobody ever said be your authentic self. It's I think it's interesting because authenticity, it's crazy to me. To me, it just happens, right? When you're authentic, it just happens. Who are you? I shouldn't have to say, this is my authentic self. Like, why would I say that? You know what I mean? Why would I lead with, if I'm going to be authentically myself? It's like saying, well, sometimes I do ask, can I be honest with you? When I say to somebody, can I be honest with you? It means that I'm going to give you not the sugar-coated version of something that's my opinion. Can I be honest with you? Authenticity to me is knowing who you are on the inside. I think that maybe those people, or I've never had that situation where somebody was like, can I be my authentic self? I'm like, sure, because what else would you be?
Right.
To me, it's like, well, I never pretend to be something I'm not. Maybe it comes with the level in which we play. I know that might not sound quite right, but there's different levels to life. When you're a teenager, when you're a young adult, when you're working on establishing yourself as an adult, and now, I hate to say it, but I am a business owner, an entrepreneur, an author, a mom of 3. So that is me. I have grown, I've evolved. That is me. And so now I'm playing at a different level, right? So people don't know all of the backstory. So they want to know, is she being authentic? Right? I've taken all my life experiences. And this is who I am. I'm a loving, caring, driven woman who's constantly evolving to become self-aware, to become the best version of myself. That's me.
Right.
That's what I do. And it's hard for people because authenticity, I think, can be skewed, right? Because of circumstances in your life. Who are you? But if you know who you are on the inside, then I think the authenticity just comes out. There's no work. There's no charade. There's no mask. There's no behind the curtain look. Authenticity means I am who I am, and this is who I am, and I'm not ashamed of who I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the flip side, growing into the level that I'm at right now, if I had imposter syndrome and once in a while, I do think to myself, who am I? What am I doing? Who am I to be doing this, right? That's a little bit that comes in when it starts to creep in just a little bit. And I have affirmations and I say my affirmations and I root and I say the gratitude and I know who I am. And because I have that clarity, then I think I basically, ward off the imposter syndrome. I combat it with those things. So I push it away. It's like, no, you're not going to creep up on me because I know that I am who I am. And that's my authentic self.
I think that the way we're raised too, and healthy parents included, is that when kids are defining a sense of who they are, we don't go to school for that. We don't get asked in class, who are you, right? You have your name, you have your role, you're told what to do, you're told to get good grades, you're told to, get along with people and share your toys. And so who are you is a question that I think maybe doesn't get asked enough. So which is why I say I don't have an answering machine. I have a questioning machine. And when you call me, it says, who are you and what do you want? Because I want that discussion. I want you to stop and think, okay, wait a minute, who am I? And and you can do the Instagram now while I'm talking. See if you can get on this time, and I'll see if I can catch it. Although if it starts taking away from the internet on the main screen, I'm going to ask you to dump, because I don't want this broadcast to get affected. We're playing with technology all the time. One of these days we're going to get it perfect. But 88%, we're doing 88%. Great. But I do know, we have a comment. I do know that, let's see what Jean said.
I'm live. So we're live on Instagram.
There you go. I tell them to go to YouTube, and then I don't check it. Nobody used that word in the past, and it's way overused today. I agree with you. It's a buzzword everyone uses to sound like they know what's going on, how to be real. That's exactly, you're preaching to my choir, Jean. Thank you very much for that. And what the concept, as Cynthia is saying, is why does it even need to be defined as, who are you? Because I believe that we are so influenced by what other people want us to be, and we're not taught to ask that question of who are we, that many of, if not all of my coaching clients come to me, and when I ask them, who are you, they'll say, I'm a mother, I'm a business owner, I'm a boss, I'm an employee, I'm a daughter, and all of these are true. They're who you are, but I call them, they are role definitions of who we are. So you are defining yourself in terms of what you do for people, what role you play for people. And there's nothing wrong with that. However, it becomes a trap, I believe. If we only define ourselves in terms of our relationships with others, then when something goes wrong, we become a bad mother, bad consultant, bad. I screw up one line in a speech, and I'm a bad motivational speaker. I'm a bad. So if we only define ourselves in with respect to who we are in relationship and what we perform, that's the imposter syndrome, how we perform to make other people happy, we are in this never ending, too many balls in the air, stuff falls through the crack, and you're constantly chasing 8 different rabbits going 8 different directions, and you are going to be in trouble, because who are you really, right? You're only as good as what you do for someone else. So in my coaching, I talk about, who are you at the core of who you are? Cynthia, at the core of who you are, motherhood aside, entrepreneur aside, all of that. And you answered that question in our gratitude breakfast. At the core of who you are, you're self-aware. At the core of who you are, you're caring. At the core of who you are, those are all of the things that we are fundamentally, so that when shift happens or shiitake happens and you yell at your kids, right? You lose your temper, right? Never happens, right? I lose my temper. I yell at my kids. Never happens, right? Anyways, I know, do I think I'm a bad mom? No, because most of the time I'm caring and loving. I'm a good mom most of the time, not all the time, but 88% of the time, that's my goal. So if you define authenticity in the terms of who are you at the core of who you are, I think it's
Right.
a brilliant term. But when you
Right.
use it as an excuse to tell someone that they have, that they should go shopping somewhere else, if they haven't asked you for advice on their fashion, shut the fork up. Don't you don't have to be authentic. Oh, I have to tell you that you look like crap this morning. Like, come
No,
on.
that's not. No, that's an
That's not
opinion.
authentic.
That's but
Exactly.
that's an opinion. That's interesting that you say that. Because if we're using that as an excuse, because that's what it is, right? In order
Yeah.
for you to have
Can you
that
add me?
opinion, that's interesting that you say that. I'm working on it.
Okay.
You haven't asked to join. Oh, there you are. Okay, so case in point, here we go with the echo. I don't know why. Here we're gonna go with the echo.
Oh, is that what's happening?
Yeah. So anyway, for me, that's an excuse. When somebody says they want to give you your opinion, that's an excuse. That's authenticity. You're opinionated. That's who you are. That's who you are at the core of who you are. That's inside. That's, but that's your opinion. You don't have to do that. You don't
Right.
have to tell that person. But I
Right.
just wanted to piggyback a little bit. I learned early on in the self-development process, which I didn't ever really focus on. And it took me a long time to figure out who I am on the inside. I knew what I was: a mom of 3, a restaurant owner. At the time, I wasn't an entrepreneur or an author, but now I am, and that's what I am. But if you can figure out who you are before all of that, that's the authentic part. That's the part that's true and beautiful and amazing. And when you love yourself and you know who you are on the inside, that's the authentic part. I want to give you a little something that I learned probably about a year ago. I have a friend named Gary Brecka, and he is a biohacker. He is not a doctor. He is a scientist. And it was really cool. We talk about vibration a lot. Authenticity is the highest vibration. He says that the reason why, and I thought this was beautiful, when somebody is attracted to you, my energy, right? A lot of people
Right.
talk about my energy. It's because we are authentic. So once people gravitate towards you, it's your energy, it's your vibration, because you are being authentically you. So I thought that was beautiful. It's the highest vibration. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, that is very cool. And I think that if we define authenticity as being yourself at the core of who you are and not having to pretend to be someone that you're not just so that person will like you more or will put you on a pedestal, then yes, it is an important term and it is an authentic, valuable term. And what's funny is I just Googled authenticity and it's the it's the silliest definition. It says the quality of being authentic.
Well, I love that.
That was the first thing that popped up. But so we don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater for the term authentic. We can actually use it if we redefine or specifically define it as the art of knowing who you are at the core of who you are. Right? So you don't have to be someone just to please other people. So that distinction I will accept. And I will say, okay, then that's an important term. However, if you are using authenticity as a way of, just being brutally honest, then I do not think that that's the best use of that term.
I don't think it's being authentic. I just don't.
What to be brutal? You think authenticity means to be brutally honest? Why can't you be honest without being brutal?
I think it's an excuse. You're using it as an excuse.
Oh, we're in agreement. I thought you were disagreeing.
I think that is absolutely false. I'm like, I don't understand. If somebody has to be that way, then at the core, authentically, right?
Yeah.
Either they're, I hate to say this, but maybe they're mean-spirited or maybe they're just rude.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. Totally agree.
Yeah.
Now, but I work with a lot of executives who say it's my job to tell you like it is. It's my job to tell you where you're at. It's my job, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And I think that our society has gone to he double hockey stick because things are too politically correct, and we can't talk about exactly. We cannot be authentic because we got to be so careful with what we say and the terms that we say. I'm not saying this as me, but this is what I heard. I like to put the moose on the table, my Canadian version of elephant in the room. So people say, we can't be authentic anymore. So there's the other side of it. We can't be honest about how we're feeling about anything. We have to be so careful about what we say and to who what we say. Speak to that.
I think it's a respect issue. We don't respect other people's opinions. We think ours is the opinion of all opinions. And so when we say, I've heard people say it, and I'm like, well, just respect my opinion. Like, I have one and it's okay. You have one, it's okay. I just think that we've gotten to a point where we're not tolerant of another person's opinion because we are so entitled that we think that our opinion is the end all be all. And if you don't agree with me, then guess what? I don't want your opinion. And so that was a little sassy. And I'm just like, I don't really understand where we got to the point where we started to disrespect people. So for me, I think it's a respect issue. We have lost respect for mankind. We have lost respect for who mankind is. Like, we are living, being authentic people who have opinions, who have feelings. But I was listening to something. It's conditioning. It's conditioning. So in the past, everything was parents rule. It's my way or the highway. You didn't have an opinion. You do as you say, not as I do. You are quiet unless spoken to. Things like that, right?
Right.
That was in the past. That was the conditioning. That's how we were brought up. Well, now with the internet and everything, we don't have parents. In my opinion, we have babysitters, and the babysitters hand somebody the phone and they don't teach. And so we've lost our respect because for me, I think that the kids get whatever they want. My kids, I don't know if they ever listen to this stuff, but I'm kind of strict. I was brought up in the house where there's respect. You need to show respect for your elders. I am your mother. You can have your opinion, but it doesn't mean that you're right, and it doesn't mean that you're going to get your way. And so I think the conditioning starts young because we're not telling them you don't get your way. And so every time something happens, they're like, here you go. And we pacify them. And so then they think that they're getting what they want or their way. And so again, it just comes up the chain, right? We're just conditioning them to say, this is where we're at right now.
Yeah. And I agree with you. I think the pendulum has kind of swung the other way. You're raised where you don't have a voice, and now the pendulum has swung all the way to there, and you say too much. You have too much of a voice. You say anything that comes to your mind, and usually it's the most critical, mean-spirited, bullying thing, especially on social media. I actually took my own advice, which is what you permit, you promote. And instead of just sliding by someone's comment or someone's meme or someone's clip or reel that was making fun of short people, like there's this one, I don't know, they just make fun of short people, and I guess formerly we called them midgets. But I put on the thing, is it possible to have something be funny without making fun of people? And somebody responded, you should probably not be on social media then. And I was like, I think I'm pretty large on social media. The last video I just posted, an hour goes by and there's now 7,500 likes. How's your channel doing? And I didn't say that. I just said, I think that we've lost the kind in humankind.
Perfect. And I will totally agree to that, because part of it is just be kind. I mean, it goes a long way. you know, and I think it's that, the filter maybe, you know, we just don't have it anymore because we're so used of doing what we want when we want to, because, you know, again, life has conditioned us to just say, okay, here you go. This is what you want. This is what you can have it. You know, you can have anything delivered to your door now. Thank you, COVID. You don't have to go anywhere. You can sit behind your screen and yell at whoever you want and tell anybody off whoever you want. But when it comes to face, I mean, humankind, I really like that. We've lost the kind in humankind.
Yeah.
I like that, because if you really filter something through kindness, and I think I said this last week about doing something with a good heart, right? Yeah. If you do it with a good heart, no matter your opinion, no matter your, I hate to say feelings, but no matter your feelings, right? Right? I mean, you can be you and I can be me, and we don't have to agree, and we don't have to be in the same room together. We all make choices. Yeah. And I just think that sometimes I say this, I have a different opinion of it now, but I mean, you should be able to be who you want to be, but be kind. If you filter it through that and you do it through a good heart, the world will be a different place.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if you've just tuned in, we haven't done a station ID in 37 minutes, but God, what else is new? You're tuned into Fired Up Fridays with Cynthia Cahy and Dr. Marissa here on Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa and
Cynthia Cahy.
And we're going to be right back on this show about hope and happiness. We're talking about authenticity, and we'll be right back with more after the station ID and a little commercials. We'll be right back here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. Let's see if Sam was listening. Welcome to Balanced Tai Chi Go. My name is Dr. Marissa Pei. For the next 28 minutes, we will be slow dancing with the universe in a moving meditation that promotes inner peace, one breath at a time. Just follow the sound of my voice and move with me as I guide you through this ancient wisdom through New Thought practice. As a corporate psychologist, I created this practice in response to my life and those of my clients. We were professional, high achievement-oriented, multitasking control freaks and exhausted. No matter how many successes, it was never enough. That, coupled with a painful life experience, led me on a quest to find another way to live and back to my Chinese roots. If you practice regularly, I can promise you that it will impact all health vortexes. Body, mind, spirit, soul. You will be in a place of balance and inner peace the way we were created. 谢谢. Be my partner, dance with me, just hold on.
Talk about commercial. I love it. It's the knuckleball. It's the knuckleball. It's coming, people. I love it.
Oh, what happened? Oh, that was it. That was a short commercial. Yeah, and we're back. Hold on, we didn't come back.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pei.
And we're back. You're tuned into Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa and
Cynthia Kahi.
here on KCAA, NBC News Radio, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, and my YouTube channel, where a number of eyeballs are rolling right now as you come in and comment. Welcome to Jean, who made a comment earlier. You're welcome to put your chat in the comment, and I'll put it up on the screen. We are also live on Instagram at Doc Balance for me and Cynthia Kahi for Cynthia. So please do go there as well, as you can give us the thumbs up or hearts or whatever as we continue this broadcast. And it is Fired Up Friday. And so we are getting fired up. We
I
are
did get a little fired up. I did.
About authenticity today. And UP stands for Unlimited Possibilities. And that's the kind of frame that we would like to give you as you fire up into your weekend. So any reflections while the commercials were going let's finish the commercial. If you're in Santa Rosa, you must go to get a knuckleball that is in the process of being trademarked, I think, as a delicious food item. And then if you're in the Southern California area, it is the last week of the month. This Saturday, I will be teaching my once a month Tai Chi, Chinese yoga, moving meditation that promotes inner peace, one breath at a time. You can get more information on either one of those, drmarissa.life for me, and for you, where do we go to find out about the restaurant?
At Home Run Pizza, Larkfield. Larkfield is the city that we're in.
Wonderful.
And so I have a website. We have Instagram. We have a new Instagram you should follow at Get Knuckleballs. It's going to be amazing. This is part of, so here's the other flip side, right? We were talking about imposter syndrome.
Yes.
So this is a good case in point. I'm in the process of bringing the knuckleball to market. Nobody in my immediate circle has done anything like this. Nobody in my family has done anything like this. So imposter syndrome once in a while will creep in. And we talked about this just a little bit, where I do my gratitude. I know who I am. I have my affirmations. Faith over fear. Fear creeps in, and that's part of the thing that gives you the imposter syndrome. Who am I to do this? How can I, it happened when I wrote the book. Who am I to write a book? I started to freak out. At one point I was like, oh my gosh, people are going to read this and oh my gosh, they're going to know me. And you get to this point. So with the knuckleball and bringing it to market, again, I have to rely on people. Who am I to do this? I'm a businesswoman, but now this is a new facet. This is a new hat to being a businesswoman. This is owning something that, one, is trademarked, done. Now we are in the process of packaging and manufacturing. So you will be able to get a knuckleball anywhere. So now this is my new thing. My tag is, have you ever tried a knuckleball? If you haven't, well, you will soon, because you'll be able to go online and order it. So part of the process is, oh my gosh, can I do this? I don't know about this. I think a little bit of the imposter syndrome is the unknown, right? The clarity, you don't necessarily have the clarity. I have to rely on other people. So faith comes in. I believe in me. I know inside that I have the courage and confidence to live my true potential, which is crazy. But I say that often when I get to new levels and I don't know what's the next step. So
yeah, totally.
That's
Great point. Fear. I actually define fear as future events already ruined. That's what fear stands for. Because, and we have a tendency to do worst case scenario, or as I say, MSU University, you make shiitake up. So, and you're not going to be the most positive about it if you're a worry wart. So I know what that's here's the point on the fear and doing something you've never done before. I believe that one of the reasons why the imposter syndrome happens is because we care too much about other people's reactions to who we are or what we're doing. If we didn't care so much about someone else's opinion of us, then I don't think we'd be afraid so much to be who we are. But because we care too much about what someone else's assessment is of you, then we do things or say things that aren't authentic. Does that make sense? So if you're trying to impress somebody and their opinion matters more than your own opinion of yourself, you may do or say something that is not really your authentic self. And I'll give you an example. We grow up in a school system where raise your hand if you have the right answer. Do they ever say who has the wrong answer? So already you want to be right. You want to have the answer. And so in your case, you don't know what you're doing because you've never done this before, but you can't admit that you don't know what you're doing because you don't want people to think that you don't know what you're doing, or you don't want to be taken advantage of by someone who's going to go in there. I'll tell you what to do. And I had this happen. I had someone say to me, I will help you for free. You know, you have so much potential, blah, 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 blah. I will help you for free. And I fell into this place where I actually believed her BS, her belief system that constantly said, you don't know what you're doing. If you knew what you were doing, you would have a lot more money. And I believed her because it mattered what she thought. And I gave her so much power, and that free almost turned into $25,000 that I would have to pay her. And what happened, that was an important lesson for me, because when I sat down and distanced myself, the voice said, you know what the fork you're doing. You've done this all by yourself, or, you know, you may have not done it in the most expedient way, but you know what the fork you're doing, right? And I needed that contrast to turn around and say to myself, you know, you don't give yourself enough credit. You look to other people to give you the kudos or give you the pat on the head or to give you the thumbs up, when you have to really do that for yourself, or you're going downhill. You know, you're not going to, if you can't approve of yourself, how the fork do you expect other people to approve of you? I'm known for saying that, and that's the reason why.
It's absolutely true. I mean, we have to have a good sense of self. Self-aware, self-compassion, self-confidence. You have a lot of things that you have the power to do on the inside. We don't give ourselves enough credit as a person for our experiences and what has happened to us. Intuition is huge. And there's different parts to the intuition, but I do believe that we need to listen to it more.
What?
Our intuition.
What?
Because it's what do they say?
You said listen. You said listen. Anytime someone says listen, I say what? Sorry.
But we have to listen to ourselves.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so here's something. So when I say listen to ourselves, we should say, I should clarify a little bit.
Don't shit on yourself.
That's right. Listen to your gut. Your head sometimes doesn't tell you the truth, right? It goes, your subconscious tells you something different sometimes. And so this is the self. You have to be self-aware. You have to know the difference. You have to know the difference between your intuition and your subconscious. Your subconscious is telling you the little things in your head that it knows, that it's trying to save you from, that it knows that it wants to protect you. So with affirmations, I say, do you listen to yourself or do you talk to yourself? So I caught myself right there. So there's two different things. And again, this is when self-awareness really, really, really is important. And we don't give ourselves enough time. We don't give ourselves enough credit, right? We discredit ourselves. If we know ourselves at the core, if we
Of who we
really
are.
have the self-awareness of who we are, if we've done the work, then the little things fall into place. And one of them is listening to your intuition.
Yeah. Yeah. I call that subconscious that you're talking about, your critical voice. And people will say, you know, some coaches will say, kill the bitch, kill the beach, kill Sam. I hope you got that one. FCC regulation. So that's what happens when we get fired up. It's your fault. So the critical voice in our head, which I think it's important to name. So mine's called Rose. Guess what my mother's name is? So that is the one that says, no, do you really know what you're doing? And you really can't do that. And you're not all that. And everybody, you know, your mother was right. You really are not that special. All of that critical horribleness. The flip side to the critic is protection. So I don't hate my critic. I embrace my critic and say, thank you very much. You've been yelling at me my entire life. And thank you for protecting me. If it were not for you, I'd be run over by a car, or I would have charred hand from putting it on a stove. So there is some value to the protector critic. But I also agree that that deep down knowing voice that I call my UPS man, my universal power source, who delivers every morning when I pray and meditate, that intuitive connection, that's my connection with that power. That's the one that says, you can do this, honey. You can do hard things, honey. You're wonderful, darling. You're amazing. You are loved, lovable, and loving. And that's the voice that we don't necessarily hear because the critic is so strong. So the work in, if you want to be beautifully authentic instead of brutally authentic, the beautiful authenticity comes from knowing who you are at the core of who you are, which is a beautiful child of a friendly universe who's loving, lovable, and loved most of the time, 88% of the time, and wrapped in a warm blanket of worthiness. If every person, 5-6 billion of us, if even 88% of us loved ourselves enough and had that core belief that we truly are at the core of who we are, loved, loving, and lovable, what would this world be like? We would have peace. We would have peace.
And that's why I spread as much of the self-development as I possibly can, because it changed my life. So one of my affirmations is, I share very well. And I say that because I am a true product of all of the things that I am practicing, because I know, right? I know in my core who I am.
Yeah.
It took some work. It took, consistency. It took hard questions. And then once I had those questions, I had to dig deep and see who I was. And a lot of people don't take the time to do that work. And so that's why I keep sharing it.
Right. And you do a fabulous job doing that. And it's wonderful having you as a co-host on Fridays. And that's what you're listening to every Friday, weekday morning at 8 a.m. You can be part of getting fired up, meaning unlimited possibilities for you as you. And I think that self-loathing, and I said this on when I was interviewed in the Philippines on ABS-CBN by Karen Davila, and she's known as the Philippine Oprah, by the way. And she, at first, she asked me what the biggest challenge is for women, and I said self-loathing, and she said, "Really? Self-loathing? That's pretty strong. That's even worse than self-hatred." But if you think about so many of us, without the work, without the self-development work, we are like bobbing on this wave of criticism. And we don't even need someone to criticize us. If someone says to me, "Oh, I like your hair," I used to say, "Oh, I didn't even wash it," or "I like that outfit. Oh, I thought it made me look fat," or "I like those earrings. Oh, I got it at the 99-cent store." We downplay every single positive thing about us, and it becomes a bad habit. and it doesn't make us feel good. Now, that's one extreme. That's you're a piece of shiitake. And that BS, that belief system that you're a piece of shiitake is ground zero for many women. And we're talking about women because we are women right now. Men have a little less trouble with this one. I always say that women think they're not as fat, not as smart, and not as successful as we actually are, or as pretty as we actually are. Men, on the other hand, not all men, but many men think they are better looking, more buff, and have more hair than they actually do. And so I say have a guy date because it's important for us women to start changing our ground zero belief systems about ourselves. We are attractive. We're not hot shiitake. I'm not better than you. I'm not like all that, but there's a middle ground, that 88% mark, where I'm not a piece of shiitake. I'm not hot shiitake, but I'm just pretty good shiitake. And if you're out there thinking that you're a piece of shiitake, stop it. You are beautiful 88% of the time, inside and out. And that is an authentic belief system that if we can grow into that, we're going to have happiness 88% of the time. Sorry, that's my soapbox for the day.
You're good. Love yourself, love others. Love is an amazing, amazing emotion, feeling. Give, it's vibration,
Yeah.
If you have that, oh, cute. David said, ladies, you're beautiful inside and out. Thank you, David. Which is honestly,
David. Are
yes.
you single? Is David single? No.
Honestly, he is.
Oh.
He's an awesome friend who is just very, very supportive. So he's here. And thank
that's
you.
so
Thank
nice.
you.
Well, I'm looking for a date for the Saban Theater for Zucchero. So if you want to drive down from Santa Rosa.
Well, no, David's in, I forget the city. He's close to Chicago.
Oh, never mind.
Right
Too
outside
far.
Chicago.
I'm just teasing. Anyways, we're almost out of time. Your last word is?
Love yourself. Give love. Be love. Be loved. Let yourself be loved. Give love to other people. I actually say that in my gratitude journal. I am grateful to have an open heart to give love and be loved.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. My last word is you are loving, lovable, and loved. And don't ever forget it. This has been another scintillating episode of Fired Up Fridays with Dr. Marissa and
Cynthia Kahi.
Come back on Friday. Just come back all week. I am here all week with my hashtag positively opinionated BS belief systems so that you can drink my rose-colored Kool-Aid and have the best day ever. It's all about balance. Peace in, peace out. World peace through inner peace. Now go forth and have the best weekend ever.